Welcome you. This is the Atlanta Season 4, Episode 7 review, Snipe Hunt. The family is camping for Lottie's 6th birthday, and they're in the woods. They link up with groundskeeper Willie. I don't know his name, but it seems appropriate in this moment. And they confirm directions to the campsite. And there's only an 8% chance of him being a murderer. Of all whites that have been in this series, he was pretty regular. Because Earn buys the mansion of tents, a whole 12-person tent for three people. They attempt to put it together, and it's crooked, missing something, but it's still standing. Not sure if that is symbolic to Earn and Van's relationship, but continue to follow me here. Earn brings up LA and moving, but Van wants to hold that convo until later. Remember, he was experiencing anxiety about having this talk with Van when he brought it up to his therapist earlier this season. He's doing the homework. It looks like he accepted the creative consulting gig in California. So, next up, he has to ask the family to come with him. Now, I have no idea if the camping was wholly Ern's or Lottie's, but stepping away from the noise of the city to connect again is what I was thinking. But it's definitely going to be one of those trips that last in your memory. Ern clearly hasn't been here before and is very new to camping with this giant tent. Van has to let him know, it's going to be cold. This was Van's second time looking out for them all in real time. The first time was when she told him to watch his speed while they were driving in the woods. They get confirmation to slow down from groundskeeper Willie. Put a pin in this. So Van, Ern, and Lottie go hiking, and we get to see more of the dynamic and my assumed symbolism. Ern wanting to cross a beyond challenging river rapid, and Van bringing him back down to earth with a more sensible route. This spoke to Ern's belief that they could make it through anything, but in reality, sir, like, what are you doing? Snap out of it. And literally think of your child in this moment. Needless to say, getting soaked before dusk is just not a good idea. Shout out to the Girl Scouts. I'm with Van on this. Get your life skills up. This would be the third instance of Van balancing Earn out. There goes another pen. It'll come together. Lottie is acting pretty indifferent toward Earn. He notices it and does the dad thing to lower her guard by telling her jokes and boosting her self esteem. Van notices and appreciates his parenting techniques, which we really don't get the parenting aspect from the show. It's more so focused on, their day to day life. That's what makes this episode even more special. Van suggests they go snipe hunting later that night. Now, snipe hunting is basically a prank just to keep Lottie busy and occupied. It will give them time to talk, so they think. Lottie does some exploring herself in search of a toad. She becomes one with nature. She finds one, but gets frustrated when it hops away. Putting her back in a child's place, or at least perspective, I should say, because we know Lottie is smart and they don't tend to bend their language when speaking in front of her. And I bet Lottie does know that Ern was getting ready to travel again, hence her shutting him out a bit. She also gets the lesson from Van to be grateful that she was able to experience the toad, even though it went away. Overall, they do have a lot of trust in Lottie and her intelligence. They let her pretty much do her thing without hovering unless she needs them. She's 6, but they give her space to be. And not on that free range parenting tip either, just they're still present. Making their co parenting situation even more clear in this moment, Lottie tells her parents she wishes her grandparents were there. The three of them isolated on the lake in a boat during this dialogue made it that much more impactful. Lottie wants that family unit. They look around like, well, yeah, that would have been a good idea. Doing the parent thing, of course. They quickly try to coax her by saying all of them spending time together is special and rare, which for us as the observer is pretty rare to have all three of them in one scene together for longer than 2 minutes. So she should be grateful. And they'll get some time in with her grandparents this weekend. Especially having the entire campground to themselves. You would think a group camping trip would have been a nice alternative. Whole family, Darius, Al action. But we have problems to solve here first. What's so great about Atlanta that you can't leave it behind? Well earned. We don't have many comparable shows that are solid like this. Yeah, he was speaking to Van, but we got 3 more episodes left, so feels. Van doesn't want to be Earn's crutch if they move to LA. This is good on her part, well, development wise. At least she knows what she isn't down to do. As previously discussed last season, when she was just along for the tour and not so sure of herself, I'm not going to say she's figured it all out, but she's made some definitive progress. Their convo's interrupted by Lottie bagging nematodes. Lottie caught a whole body. She really caught a snipe. To earn Van and our surprise, she really did it. And this moment of tension was fun because actually going over to see what was in the bag rather than, yeah, let's just wait till tomorrow morning or just leave the bag there and yeah, we're going to bed. It was pretty funny. Thus, symbolizing that the impossible can happen. Earn is the snipe. That actually is a pretty good theory. That Earn would be the snipe and Lottie would be the one to catch him because he is made better by Van. Take a moment with that one. Next scene, we're in the cricket tent. Ern's teeth are literally chattering. I'm gonna spare you from making that noise. I don't even think it would translate well, but it's cold. Bringing Van's learnings from earlier full circle. She invited Ern to lay in their sleeping bag for warmth, and this is when Ern decides to lay it on pretty thick to convince Van that they should be a family in LA. Van felt it was more of a one-dimensional or one-way transaction situation, with her being a good mom to Lottie, and that's it. But Ern is clearly attached. He just sucks at expressing himself outright. He's working on it. You can't, you know, be too hard on him. And he feels like he may have missed his chance, but he does the man thing, of course, and expresses himself eventually, telling Van what she means to him. He was Kanye passionate. I swear this show is just so timely. Earn confesses that he does not see Van as just Lottie's mom. He sees her for who she is and desires that. Oh. Along with the greatness of Lottie, of course, moving to LA isn't just about successes and wanting them to tag along so he's not alone. He's been infatuated, apparently, since they left Amsterdam, which is funny because they didn't really link up again until they were in London in the hotel. Remember when she was thieving and running amok with baguettes? Yeah. All the while, Lottie is just fake sleeping, like she can't hear the conversation. Girl, open your eyes. Her eyes were moving. There's no way. Van says, okay. Now, to me, that's not a yes, I guess, but she reciprocates his love and they fall asleep, only to wake up with Lottie laying foot side up beside them. Another moment for Van. Remember, Ern didn't say that to her in the first episode. He would not tell her that he loved her. We're making more progress. Now it's morning and they are brushing their teeth, leaving fluoride for the fishes. Van is straightening up, and Ern says since it's gonna rain soon, they'll just get another tent and to leave it. From a public storage living situation to this, can you imagine? Wasteful, yes, very. But Ern is different now. He's got money. And the rain also symbolizes clarity and cleansing of old energy, making way for newness. A new chapter, if you will. And that's enough for my spiritual corner this week. They all pack up, get into the car. Van and Ern are very pleased with themselves for, being adults and actually sitting down, making room to talk and come to a resolve rather than giving us a cliffhanger. Ooh, we're starting to get closure. And we get a final shot of Lottie being happy that her parents are happy. Aww. 90s sitcom audience. The show opened with Your Love is King and closes with Love is Stronger Than Pride by Sade, of course. The smooth and accurate progression, always on point music selections. This was a pretty chill episode for me. A lot of people may have been yearning for the consistent laughs we've been getting so far, but Ern and Van have been floating for the longest. It's good for them to actually land on some common ground. The overall sense of calm this episode has was a perfect backdrop in the woods. No gotcha moments or surprises, except for the snipe, of course, but just more so focused on emotion and feeling. It was so wholesome. I'm clocking the 10 in as our emotive portal. A transition occurred and we witnessed their relationship grow. And you can't argue with that. So, yes, there was a portal this episode in the tent. Another success was the camping trip itself. Earn doesn't have yet another family outing gone wrong. Think about it. There really weren't any external forces to get in the way this time. They actually got to spend time together without distractions. And the more I say that, Petty Earn likely planned this so he wouldn't fail because he did a lot to kind of cover himself. Obviously, renting out the whole campground, that was a bit much. But again, no distractions. He's not slick. The lingering tension throughout the episode was also notable between Ern and Van going back and forth, and us, the audience, watching with the expectation something's gonna occur because it's Atlanta. We're expecting something to happen. But no. And the acting was on point for all three of them. Very solid performances. By no means do they have to put on every week, and it just shows the range of the series. I can't believe we have 3 left. Time has flown, but so far so good. I guess we're close enough for me to start requesting a movie. Now it doesn't have to be for closure to wrap things up neatly and well, whatever. But it could possibly provide us with another opportunity or opportunities to experience the greatness of the show and how it's been more than just another comedic, edgy sitcom. I'll pause here because we still have time, somewhat. I'm not ready. If you too are not ready, engage with us. Tap into the Spotify app and check out the poll and Q&A sections. You can also leave your thoughts about this episode on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, or verbalvibemode.com. You can also leave us a voicemail using Anchor about how you want a birthday s'more, a single birthday s'more, similar to a grit, but more abundant. As always, all important links are in the description box. See you next week.